This savory turnip cake, Lo Bak Go, is a must-have snack during Chinese New Year. There are lots of recipes out there which have different ingredients. Here I'm going to show you my version of it. If you're interested in it, just keep on watching. These are the ingredients. We will need 3.6 kilograms of turnips or radish. After peeling and grating, you will lose some, so it is better to buy a little bit extra. 400 grams of rice flour, 8 Chinese sausages. You can always adjust the amount of meat to suit your taste. And last but not least, my secret ingredients, toasted white sesame seeds. Adding the sesame seeds onto a steamed turnip cake will definitely enhance the flavor a lot. If you haven't tried it before, try it and let me know if you like it or not in the comments box below. Alright, let's steam the Chinese sausages first. As they are dried and quite solid, by steaming them, it will soften them and make the cutting process a lot easier. I always only put Chinese sausages in my turnip cake, but if you like other Chinese dry ingredients like dry shrimps, dry pork belly, dry shiitake mushrooms, please go ahead. What you add into your turnip cake is really based on your personal favorite, something like your family recipe or the recipe from your grandma. It actually won't affect the texture that much. Here I have some boiling water in the wok and I turn on the medium heat. Steam the sausages for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now let's prepare our star ingredient, turnips. In the UK, there are not many places where you can find such huge turnips. I was lucky enough that I found them in a Chinese grocery store in the market in Birmingham. When I saw them, I was so excited. Here is the evidence. By the way, do you know how to choose turnips? First, the heavier is better. It means that it contains water, which is what we want. Also, they should have the green sprouts on top, which means they are fresh enough. Now you know how to choose them. Let's get started. First, peel off the skin. Chinese people like making this Chinese turnip cake, especially during Chinese New Year. It's because the Chinese word go, meaning cake, shares the same pronunciations of the word go, meaning getting higher. Attribute cakes with higher success, more happiness, healthier, and prosperity. This is why Chinese people like making and eating all sorts of sweet and savory cakes during Chinese New Year. Of course, this is not only the reason for making turnip cakes. The other main reason is because my husband and I both love turnip cakes very much. Everybody tastes the sweetness from the turnips and the saltiness from the Chinese sausages, plus my twist of adding the toasted white sesame seeds. That's why I keep making it every year. Here I'm going to use my baking buddy to help me grate the turnips. Let me add the attachment onto it. It makes the whole process a lot faster and easier. Although there are only 3.6 kilograms, they are still a lot. If you just have a hand grater, please make sure you don't chop the green sprouts away because it is the parts that you can hold on while you grate it to the top. The vegetable slice shredder is attached. Let me get everything ready. You will need a big pot for cooking the grated turnips after finish grating them. You definitely don't want to scoop them into another pot afterward. Also, you will need to cut the turnips into strips to fit into the grater, but if you use a hand grater, you can skip this step. As this part doesn't have much to see, I fast forward it to avoid you getting bored. For your reference, the whole grating process took around 8 to 10 minutes. It's pretty quick, isn't it? Give this shredder a star. Place the big pot on the stove, put the lid on and turn on the medium heat to start cooking the shredded turnips. You do not need to add any water into the pot, as the turnips will release their natural water while they are being cooked. Here I chopped around 40 grams, half of a piece of Chinese brown sugar, into small pieces and add them into the turnips. What I'm trying to do is to balance the bitterness of the turnips with the sweetness of the sugar. Try to chop the brown sugar into smaller pieces so that they can melt faster in the cooking process. As you can see, the turnips release quite a lot of water during the cooking process. That's why the heavier turnips are better. You now know how to choose a good turnip, don't you? Keep checking the turnips once every 8 to 10 minutes. Stir them to make sure every bit of turnips is well cooked. When you see them become translucent, it means they are done. Just like this. Turn off the heat. For your reference, the whole process took around 35 to 40 minutes at medium to medium-low heat. Let's move on to the sausages. I like cutting them into very small cubes because they will blend beautifully into the cake slices without breaking them. Also, every mouthful you can taste the sweetness and the saltiness at the same time. How exciting is that? However, the sausage tends to easily roll around when cutting it. My safer way is to cut each sausage in half first to create flat sides, and then face them down. Now, it is safe to cut each half into thin strips. Line them up, and now you can easily cut them into small cubes, just like this. You can also cut some sausage slices for decorating the top of the cake later, but I just cut them all in cubes and added them all in the cake without any decorations. It's totally up to you. Add the chopped sausage cubes into the turnips. Turn on the medium heat to gently heat them up to make it easier to mix with the flour in the next step. Keep mixing them until the sausage cubes are well distributed. At this point, you may notice that I haven't seasoned the batter yet because I will leave it after mixing with the flour. Then I can taste the whole batter and season it as I like. When you see the batter is slightly bubbling, now you can turn off the heat. Now we are going to add the rice flour. Make sure it is rice flour, not glutinous rice flour. They are totally two different types of flour. Place a sieve on top and sieve in the flour bit by bit to get rid of the lumps, just like this. Then stir the batter well using a spatula with a wooden handle. Because the batter will gradually get thicker and thicker, a solid handle definitely will help a lot. When you can't see any flour, you can continue to sieve in more flour and keep stirring and mixing the flour into the turnip batter. As more flour is added, the batter becomes thicker and thicker. I ended up adding the whole bag of flour, which is 400 grams. It is hard to stir, and I need to put some effort into stirring it, but I can still stir the batter. This is the right consistency that I am looking for. You need to adjust the amount of flour for your turnip batter because it depends on the amount of water each turnip contains. When you scoop the batter, it still can fall off from the spatula. That means it is stiff enough to hold its shapes, but not too stiff. As a result, the texture of the turnip cake after it has been steamed will be soft enough to bite, but you still can pick it up with your chopsticks. Now add salt and black pepper to season the cake to taste. Yes, I add black pepper into the turnip cake because my husband and I love black pepper. We literally add black pepper on everything. If you don't like it, of course you can feel free to omit it. You can add white pepper instead. I suggest not adding too much salt at this stage because first, Chinese sausages are salty, and second, we would like to have the turnip cake with dipping sauces like oyster sauce or soy sauce. When you are happy with the taste, distribute the batter into the pie dishes and even them out using the spatula. As you can see, the whole batter is well fitted in these 3 pie dishes. I have been using them for my turnip cakes since I started making them years ago, and I like using them because I don't need to oil them in advance. They are totally non-stick. After the cakes are steamed, they come out easily. If you don't have these dishes, you can use any containers on hand, but maybe you need to oil them before you put the batter in to avoid it from sticking. The sizes of my pie dishes are on the screen now. You can take a screenshot of it for your reference. Try to level them as evenly as you can, so that when we cut the cakes into slices, they will look very neat and pretty. Now we are going to steam them. Place the cakes into the steamers with plenty of boiling water at medium-high heat. Make sure it is boiling hot, otherwise it will affect the steaming time. Steam them for about 45 to 50 minutes. Check the amount of boiling water in halfway to make sure there is enough. If not, boil some and add it in. After 45 minutes, the cakes are done. Wow, they smell fantastic. Just want to dive in, but need to be patient at this stage. Although they are cooked, we can't eat them right now because they are not set yet. Take them out from the steamers and place them on heat-proof mats to avoid damage your surface first. When they are still warm and have a layer of moisture on top of the cakes, it's time to sprinkle my secret ingredients, toasted sesame seeds. You instantly will smell the toasted nutty flavor from the sesame seeds. They just enhance the flavor even more. As I said before, if you haven't tried it, try it and let me know what you think. Sprinkle them as much as you want. Honestly, I love to have them a lot. Once you are happy with them, use an offset spatula to press them down so that they all stick on the cake better. Let the cake sit for at least 6 hours, or I recommend even overnight in the fridge before slicing them. I just want to show you why you do need to wait for the cake to be set. This one has only been setting for around 2 hours. We couldn't resist trying it because the smell was filling the whole house. But as I cut it, you can see it comes out too soft and it's still difficult to cut into neat slices. So you have to wait. But it still tastes delicious. This one has been resting in the fridge overnight. You will see the texture has changed so much when I cut it into slices later. It is so different from the one that I have just shown you previously. Now I just need to loosen the edges a little bit and voila! It comes out in one piece easily. Let's cut the cake into slices around 1 cm thick pieces. This is because I use the oval and round pie dishes. Let's cut the curved sides first, and now I can have the sort of rectangle cake so that I can easily cut the cake into regular slices. Just like this. Do you remember that I mentioned earlier that Chinese sausages have to be cut into very small pieces? If they are not small enough, they may break the slices when we cut the cake at this stage. Here is my round one. Let me show you how easy it is to remove it from the container. Voila! Again! As you can see, there are lots of cakes. I'm going to tell you why I make such a big batch for just the two of us. The reason for this is because it takes about the same amount of work and time to cook a small one. From an effective cooking point of view, it's worth it to make a big batch rather than a small one. I also recommend you make a full batch as well. I promise you will not regret it. Now let me show you how I store them. Here I have some freezer storage boxes. They can be used both in the fridge and the freezer. They are also stackable and they save me so much space as well. I also use them to store my meat and salmon. They are my fridge saver. If you are interested, check them out. The link is in the description box below. I line the box with a sheet of parchment paper at the bottom for easy cleaning after we finish the cakes. As you can see, the capacity of the box is actually quite big. It can hold almost 1.5 batches of my turnip cakes. I ended up using 2 storage boxes. The cakes can be kept in the freezer for up to a month. Lie them well. Now, whenever my husband and I want some of this incredible Chinese dim sum to snack on, just take them out from the freezer and then pan fry them. You don't need to defrost them in advance. They just take a few minutes longer or so to turn them golden brown and have crispy sides. Now let's do it, shall we? Get a frying pan, Turn on medium heat and add some of your favorite oil in. These turnip cakes are not frozen, so it will only take around 2 to 3 minutes to get the lovely golden brown on each side. Love to hear this sizzling sound. I wish you could be with me in the kitchen. The cakes smell amazing. After around 3 minutes, you can see it starts to get some golden brown on one side. Then now you can flip it and continue to pan fry the other side until you are happy with it. Wow, look at them. Can't wait to dive in. Chopsticks out! Alright, it's time to serve. Get a nice plate. Always eat with your eyes first, right? They look so pretty, don't they? Here I have just prepared some soy sauce and chili sauce to dip. Simple food brings us such a lot of happiness. Wishing everyone a very happy and prosperous Chinese New Year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye!